Welcome into Just Five. 5 topics, 5 minutes. Can I do it? Let's see. Let's start with the Golf Channel games. We announced the Golf Channel games on Wednesday, and this is going to be a new primetime event, December 17th, under the lights on Golf Channel and USA Network. It's also another example of Versant, the spinoff from Comcast, of going out and creating their own programming. We'll talk about that at a later date. Let's talk about what this is. What it is the two biggest stars in men's professional golf sharing space, because they can't compete together in anything in a World Cup or in a Ryder Cup. Now they can compete against each other, and they will be competing against each other, and that is Rory McIlroy and Scottie Scheffler. But we're seeing an audience for events like this. It's not just turning on the television and listening to Nance or Hicks on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon. And this is not YouTube golf either, but these are the two biggest players captaining teams under the lights. How could it not be something that people are going to watch? All right, let's get to item number 2, the Walker Cup. I'm wearing the logo right now. If you consider what the Walker Cup is, and you go back to the beginning, 1922, you know who was on that first team representing the United States? Bobby Jones. Every great player, with really almost no exceptions except for 1 or 2, Hogan being one because he was a late bloomer, played in a Walker Cup. And this year it is at Cypress Point. And I encourage anybody, if you're trying to identify a golf tournament to go to over the next 2 to 5 years, go to the Walker Cup, because the settings are the best in golf. They just came from Seminole 4 years ago, and in between they were at the old course, and they're on to La Hinch. And when they come back to the United States, it'll be Abandoned Dunes and down the road at Chicago Golf Club and Pine Valley. The Walker Cup, to me, is the best event to attend in all of golf. All right, let's get to item number 3, the captain's picks for Europe. I think it is most delicious that a team that won at home is bringing back the same captain. And there's only one guy who's ever done this on the European side. Captain successive, consecutive, winning Ryder Cup teams. He did it at home in 1985, and they did it again in 1987 when Europe won for the first time on American soil. That was Tony Jacklin. Nice British fellow. And a nice British fellow did it 2 years ago by the same margin that Jacklin did it in 85. Luke Donald did it in Rome. And he's not only doing it again, he's bringing the same guys all the way down to the last guy who's not exactly the same guy, but they have the same last name. So he's bringing 11.5 guys that played on the last team to come to Bethpage. I'd want it no other way. Speaking of the U.S. Ryder Cup team, most of the guys on that team are going to do something none of them did in 2023 after the Tour Championship: play any competitive golf. So on occasion, these events in the fall get a windfall. And the Pro Corps in Napa at Silverado is getting just that, starting with the #1 player in the world. Most of Keegan Bradley's team, and you can count on this, most, if not all of them, are going to be grouped together in the first 2 rounds. Why wouldn't they? No, they're not going to be playing alternate shot or 4-ball, but they're going to share time together. And you can be rest assured they're going to have dinner together. So Keegan Bradley is trying to do things that the last captain wasn't able to do, or maybe didn't even try to do, and that is get competitive reps for his team before they go to Bethpage, as opposed to a month of inactivity. And let me finally get to Keegan specifically, because it was a week ago that on this show that I said, just in the waning moments of the show, my gut tells me he's going to pass on himself. And most people said, how could he do that? He's one of the 12 best players. I can't argue that. But what I would argue is he one of the 12 best players while also being a captain? There was a great article written by Dr. Jennifer Lerner, who teaches at Harvard and also was an advisor to the Navy about decision making. And she had a great line that divided attention kills performance. Do you think his attention wasn't going to be divided trying to be a captain and a player, that it wouldn't affect his performance doing both? Look, I could see it if he was on the team. I think the team is better served with him doing what he was chosen to do, be the captain. That was just 5. 5 topics, 5 minutes. Hope you enjoyed.